welcome to HackMiami and OSINT 101. I have presented this before. I went back, I looked through what I wrote, and I was like, wow, a year worth of research in one area changes your perspective completely. So I reworked it, and so we're going to repost it on the Slack channel. And if you want it, you're welcome to it. It's nothing that you won't find on the internet. It's just I tried to collect everything I've researched and put it in one PowerPoint, hence the 35 slides. And actually, I'm a history teacher. That's my day job. So 35 slides is actually kind of small for me. All right, so I'm Honey. Hi, you might know me from the Slack channel. I schedule our meetups, so if you ever volunteer for a meetup, I'm the one that's going, hey, you said you were going to be here. Are you going to be here? Are you sure you're going to be here? Please be here. Please don't cancel on me the day before. You're not going to cancel the day before, are you? You did. Okay, so that's me. I started in SE. I didn't know where I fit in information security at all. I just kind of liked the crowd. You guys are my tribe, and I had to look around and see where I fit. So I've kind of tried a little bit of everything. My last known place was Hardware Hacking Village, which I really clicked with them. So that's kind of where I hung out. But I found SE, and I was like, okay, social engineering is something I'm comfortable with, even though it's really creepy. But I'm good at it, although it's really creepy. And then I learned about OSINT from there when I did the SECTF in Vegas. I did not land one phone call. I was voted the most entertaining flop, and none of my phone calls hit, and I still scored in the top, 30 percentile, because my OSINT was they told me when I got there, my research was out of scope, and I was like, there's no such thing as out of scope in a real hacking scenario. I had gotten into the building by using the real estate agent that was showing parts of the building, and I had her walk me through with her, can we FaceTime? And she was walking me through the building with her camera. So they said that was out of scope. I say that's not out of scope, but technically it was out of scope. So since then, that was about 3 years ago, it's been an active hobby. I can't use it for work. Like I said, I teach history. I'm not OSINTing my kids because, quite frankly, I don't want to know ever what my students are doing. They're high schoolers, and worst case scenario, it's going to be a roll of hundreds and a blunt and or booty pics. And either way, I'm so good on that. So this has been a very active hobby, but I don't use it for work. First of all, because it's creepy to target children, even though they're probably the most vulnerable of our society. And totally, you should consider them a target if you do OSINT. But I don't like it, it's creepy. So please, if you have anything to contribute, I love to add to my own knowledge. There is no such thing as an OSINT expert, because everything changes so frequently that once you think you've locked down a process, something new comes out, a new tool, a new process, Facebook will block that way of doing something, and you've got to figure out another workaround. So there's even the experts who I say, Bezel will say, I'm not an expert. And I'm like, or Basil, however he says his name. I've never been to his trainings. So, this is a legalish disclaimer. I am not a lawyer, and I'm not a legal expert, and I don't know what you're going to do with these skills that I teach you, so I can't tell you whether they're legal or not, and be careful because laws are different in different places, and a lot of social engineering and OSINT kind of borderlines on the fraud world anyway. So you might want to be careful and know the laws about what you are doing with these skills that you, because someone, not me, is going to be doing this. I follow the laws. Okay, so be careful what you OSINT. Even port scanning is a crime, depending on where your ports are, so please know what you're doing. All right. It's not the data, it's what you use it for, and please don't use it to be a stalker. No one likes a stalker. Okay, so ways to practice legally. Target companies with broad bug bounty programs. They're asking for it, so you might as well give it to them. You can compete in DEF CON. Those companies ask to be targeted. My company was IBM Security. Yeah, so they ask for it, so it's legal. You get a whole dossier of targets and everything. Target yourself, stuff you host. Targeting yourself is actually probably the best place to start, because you want to know what's out there about yourself, and I have a whole slide about that. And make sure that you're attacking or investigating who you mean to be attacking or investigating, because if you go at the wrong person, what was legal when you were going at the correct target could be illegal at a different target. So make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you know who you are investigating, and make sure that you are responsible with the information that you find. Period. Anybody ever see this t-shirt at DEF CON? I love this t-shirt. It's security consulting kept me out of jail. Yeah. So just, make sure that you know what you're looking at. So what is OSINT? And again, this is a 101, so this is open source intelligence gathering. Why use it? Well, the more you know. The more you know, the more you're able to leverage off of a target. OSINT can maybe give you new attack vectors, tell you something about your targets you didn't know, give you just a broader understanding of the company or the person, their behavior, or their system's behavior. You're observing. It can be used in every area of the hacking world. OSINT is valuable. And this is probably the favorite quote I've ever come across in my searches about data and OSINT. Yeah, it's all just data until you leverage it, and then it's intelligence. So, and I really highlight the don't be a stalker part, and I know that I'm kind of big on that because that tends to be how people use OSINT in their everyday lives the most. I remember watching Ace once. He was my first, you guys remember Ace? He was my first OSINT teacher, and he said, your ex-girlfriend is the best OSINT investigator on the planet because she knows everything you're doing, bro. She knows who you're dating now. She knows, everything. And that tends to be what people use OSINT for the most, which don't be a stalker, nobody likes a stalker. And it's not good for you either. You don't want to know what she's doing. He's probably real hot. I'm just saying. Okay. So, steps to OSINT. I have some slides on here that are just kind of introductory. They're title slides. So we've got steps to OSINT. Step 1, set your parameters. You need to know what you're looking for. What type of data are you looking for? Are you looking for phone numbers? Are you looking for dating websites? Are you looking for a person? Are you looking for a company? Are you looking for a structure? What is it that you are looking for? That's where you have to start. And then what information do you have already? Set a budget. At this point, most of the tools that you're going to use are going to be free. But some of the really good tools, those will cost you a little money. Sometimes it's just a subscription of $40. How often are you going to use that tool and leverage that against its price? It's all up to you, whatever's best in your opinion and based on your budget. Choose a tool that matches your technical level. Some of these tools are super simple. You just open a website, run the tool, it's good to go, it spits you out the data. And some of these are going to require you to use command line and program in Python and other stuff that enters into my realm of not so technical ability. All right? Allocate time limits. That's a new one added because this is a rabbit hole. Every time you find a new piece of data, you've got to run your entire search again with that new piece of data. Oh, you found a hash? Okay, well now you need to convert that hash into every known encryption and then search the hash. Because people use the same passwords over and over. And if it's unique, like if it's like bootygirl123, there's going to be a million people with that password. Oh. What? But they can't see me doing that. They just think I'm weird. Okay, so but if it's a unique password, something unique to your user, something unique to your target, you can run that hash and see if it's in a data dump somewhere. See if they used it on an email address you didn't know about. It becomes a rabbit hole, and you need to dedicate an allocated set of time for that before you decide, okay, I'm tapping out of this investigation. All right? And is it work or play? Because if it's for work, you need to build documentation into your workflow process, because documentation is what shows the company that you're working with that you've done your due diligence in what you've presented to them. I've also heard it suggested that giving an executive summary, like a one-page executive summary, here were my findings, that can be helpful, and then about 1 page of evidence per hour that you've worked. That was the suggestion that I've seen in a couple of sites. So, all right. I'm sorry I bombarded you with the entire slide at once. If you are going to OSINT, don't hack naked. Don't hack naked. You're going to need a set of aliases, and if you can get a whole machine for this, just get straight up a laptop that never touches your personal data ever, do that. And then never put it on your home Wi-Fi. In fact, you should buy it while wearing a hoodie, in sunglasses, at night, with all cash, period, and maybe have a friend buy it. If you want to go real creepy with it, if you're going to use your own machine, You can do things like disabling your USB port and using that just USB port with your VM with a Wi-Fi antenna so that you're never on your own Wi-Fi. Dude, the rabbit hole can go so deep. It's about your level of vulnerability and what you're comfortable with. I never recommend using your own accounts, and no one will ever either. Yes? I believe it. I believe it 100%. So that way they're always on that same IP. They're always in that same place. So start with yourself a disposable SIM that, again, you buy in the middle of the night with only cash, wearing your hoodies, sunglasses, that no one knows it's you, in a place where there are no video cameras. Go crazy with it. It's the whole point, all right? But that's probably a little too deep for it. Buy a burner phone, put the SIM in the burner phone. Now your alias has a phone number. You're probably never going to make a phone call from this number, but you'll use it to verify every single account you make for your alias, and Facebook loves that. Their system called Unicorn says, "Ooh, you have a phone number? You're a people, and I like people. I don't like bots. Bots don't have phone numbers." So the phone number will help you verify. You probably won't use it for much other than verification or two-factor authentication, which is hilarious because now your alias is better protected than most people. Okay, so create a personal information. Who's your target? What are you looking for? And then create a profile that acts as bait for them. If you're targeting a company, maybe disguise your profile as a recruiter or maybe a job seeker. Whatever it is that your bait is for whatever specific purpose you're looking for. People get real deep. You want to create this profiles from IP addresses that are not yours. If you want to spoof. If you want to spoof your machine address, it's all just to protect your personal, like who you actually are from being seen. Because as we are observing, systems are observing us all the time. And we want to make sure that you keep yourself separate from your professional space. All right. Give the alias an interest. Pick something that you don't actually like, or it's going to get weird. Post about that interest. Join interest groups for that interest. Make friends with the people in that interest group. And you've beaten all the algorithms that our social media pages use to make sure that you're not doing exactly what it is that you're doing, which is using their services for information gathering about their clients, because Facebook has enough problems with that. They don't want to make it easy for you to spy or let their users make it easy and then they get blamed for it, which is the real truth. So, once you have your account set up a whole set of social media accounts for this, link them all together, you have a full profile. Yeah, you have friends. You're real people now. And don't get too attached to this profile, because once it's burned, it's burned. So you're going to spend hours making these attachments, hours making these pictures, blah, blah, blah. When you put pictures, make sure you watch your metadata, because there's nothing worse than putting up a picture with your own metadata that kind of conflicts with your alias. Insert fake metadata that supports that your alias is who they say they are. Like, you can take it so deep. And there you go. Create your alias, protect yourself. Once the alias is burned, you'll know, because your social media accounts will straight up just, sorry. Facebook will ask you to send a driver's license. Hello, Queen Chi-Chi. Will you please send me your driver's license that proves that you are, in fact, Queen Chi-Chi? And when you can't do that, the account is forever locked until you can provide ID, which is where I say sometimes it flirts with fraud, because if you want to produce an ID for Queen Chi-Chi, now that's up to you. But that account is done until it's verified to be a real person. All right, so create yourself a workflow. I have an example of a workflow table on the next slide, but this is just basically a set of processes that you can repeat that have gotten you success. If there's a service that you use that hasn't brought you any information in months, take it out of your workflow. There are enough of these competitive services that you'll find another that does exactly the same thing. There are very few brand new services. I think the industry, OSINT and SE in general, is ready for that next, like, whoa, this is a new thing, because we've kind of been riding the same services for a while. And a reminder, if it's for work, you want to make sure that you build documentation into your report. And there are some services like Hunchly, it saves your entire research. So every site you go to, everything you click, it kind of saves an archive of that. You know how, like, when you find something and then it's the best piece of data ever, and when you go back to look for it, you can't find it? Hunchly kind of solves that problem. But if you went to 300 sites, Hunchly stores 300 sites. So, but whichever one you're looking for, it's in there. All right, so this is tiny. I recognize that. Sorry about that, guys. We will upload the slides when the presentation is over. So this is not my workflow. I did not invent this. You can actually Google Michael Basil. Is it Basil or Bazel? Michael Basil. Thank you. I appreciate your affirming choice on that matter. Very decisive. Okay, so Michael Basil has a workflow model that starts with every piece of information you might want. So if you start with an email address, there's a workflow model for that. Just Google Michael Bazel workflow email address, and it'll come up with a workflow that starts with your email address. So this was like gold to me when I first Googled and said, can I have an example of a workflow process? And I typed that in, example workflow process OSINT. And this is what came up, and I went, oh yeah, so I don't have to make all those little bubbles. That's awesome. And there's a couple I've added on here. Hunter.io is great, but it's a big program. You can do the same thing with TrueMail. TrueMail is awesome. TrueMail tells you immediately, is this a valid email address? Is this an email address that can accept new emails? Is it on a throwaway service? We'll say that gesture means throwaway. And once you've verified that is an actual email that belongs to most likely a real person, then you can go ahead and run the rest of the OSINT. There's no sense in running all of these steps on a dead email that somebody used one time to log into Ashley Madison and never checked. Which, if they were smart, that's exactly what they did. But we know, based on the data dumps, that is not what many people did. So finding dating website profiles has always been kind of a, no pun intended, honeypot of information. Because people put all sorts of their weird kinks on there, and then you can use that as leverage, because in our society we totally frown on kinky sexy stuff, so you can use that as leverage to shame your target sometimes. Again, a lot of social engineering sometimes flirts with the unethical, which you're just doing it to make them better, right? They're better protected after you, right? Okay, so People's great. People will take your email address, turn it into a phone number. You can then take that phone number, turn that into a geolocation. You can get their coordinates. If they live stream anything, you can get their geo coordinates from the live stream's metadata. Are there any services on here that anybody would like me to explain? HIBP, awesome. Have I been pwned? And it tells you if the email address that you're searching for was in any of the data dumps. And I'm talking a lot of the data dumps. So all the way back from way before Neopets. Yeah, Neopets was totally one of the first big online systems that had a huge data leak. Not the first, obviously, but one of the first. I think probably millions of email addresses. Yeah, and passwords. So it's all in there. All right. Would anybody like me to explain any of these in more detail? Well, again, once you find a piece of information, once you find their social media account, then you've got to go run that email or run that account. Look for links. Do they have a friend? Are there common friends? Are these real friends? There are services to tell you all of those things. Who might they actually know in real life? Maybe you don't want to come right at your target. Maybe you want to make friends with one of their friends, and then you've got a legitimate introduction for when you do meet them in person, because a trusted person will be introducing you, which automatically increases the amount of trust your target will have in you. So this is all a really up mind game, and the more you know about your target, the better you can play. Okay, so tools, passive versus active tools. Some tools give you pretty much almost invisible searching power, and some tools go completely ham on your target, and they will alert at least their system or their system administrator that you're being looked at. They may not know why, and big companies get notifications all day long, hey, someone's pinging us, or hey. So that's probably not a huge threat to them, but especially if it's a more localized thing, depending on what you're looking at, you don't want to necessarily alert your you never want to alert your target that they are being watched, because of something called the observer effect, the act of observing someone. When someone knows they're being watched, they act differently. Okay, so you want to make sure, and your target may not know that you're looking at their Twitter, but Twitter might know. And then Twitter can ban your username, and then your profile's out the window. You got to start again. Tools range in complexity. Some are super simple. Inteltechniques.com is probably the industry-wide standard for simple, easy to go to, big bang for your buck place. And then the creator of that, Michael Bazel, Then he created an entire operating system called Buscador, which we'll go over a little bit today. But legitimately, when I thought it read Buscador OS, I was like, oh, open source. And then when I started doing my research, I was like, this motherfucker made an entire OS and I started like talking it up and getting real excited. And my fiance's like, oh, you mean like Kali? And I'm like, you just ruined it for me, man. You just took this away from me. And the difference between Buscador and Kali, Buscador comes with this stuff kind of packed and configured. Yes, you can do the same exact thing on your Kali VM. Yes, you can download all these services on your Kali VM, but Buscador is kind of like a one-stop shop. I don't mean to like ride on it, but if you're looking for a place to begin, the GUI is super easy to operate, and it's already configured. So you might want to look into Buscador, or we'll do it today. So tools people love. Maltego CE, which, by the way, you can totally download onto Buscador. No joke, right? Maltego's more for, especially if you've got big targets, but it's a visual representation. If you're a visual person, Maltego is for you, because it's going to give you a beautiful graph printout of all the things that relate to each other, and you can add to it. It does do transforms, and it does do what they call machines, which are basically scripts that people have created or that you can create to run automated techniques. Automation is where SE is going, like legit. At this point, there are so many services that automate everything that you're just going to see further and further automation in this. And Maltego makes it really easy to see. I have some pictures for you, and we'll play with it at the end as our demo. All right. Oh, and it comes, the CE version, the Community Edition, comes with Kali anyway, so that's always nice. There's a new edition. They have a professional edition at this point, and it can make up to 1 million connections between people and parts of the organization. So if you have like a huge organization that you're mapping, that the professional version can accommodate that. I don't know, is 1 million like a lot anymore? It is, but it isn't. It is, but it isn't. Okay. Recon NG, it's another huge tool. This one, you need to know Python to do Recon NG, but it's a great, and it'll automate everything for you. It's super awesome. And then, of course, I know that I'm like riding on this like a rodeo show, but he really is the industry standard. I did not bring my OSINT Bible with me because I am moving, and it's in a box somewhere along with my hacker laptop. I hope they're together happily because I don't know where they are. Oh, you brought it! Yay! So this is the book. Why I love text print. Oh my God, it's right there in text print. Why I don't like text print. He updates this book like every freaking year or two, and it's like college textbooks. You got to buy the new edition every single time, or like your professor says no. So, but do you mind passing it around, or letting anybody? Yeah. Yeah, you're just like, oh yeah, you can. It's totally widely available, but it's great. It's got huge chunks of tools in it. So if you're looking for something real specific, it's basically an index of tools and then a description on how to use them, which is awesome. Yes, that's an excellent way to put it. An encyclopedia of sources. I totally just ate some of my lipstick. Sorry. All right, and then of course Buscador, which we'll be going over today. All right, so this is not a demo portion. These are just a couple of pictures to warm you up for the demos later. So Maltego is, it's mostly graphing and link analysis. It can be used for data mining. Again, the new XL version. If you want a really great demo, this is one of those. It's so popular that there's 100 of them out there. When you type in OSINT demo, Maltego is one of the first 3 choices that pop up, and the demo's really, it's easy. They'll walk you right through everything. We'll walk you through a couple things. Really, it gets deep when you make it deep, when you use that to get to your own research. There's a transformation hub. These are the transforms. I want to transform a phone number into an email address. So there's going to be a transform for that. And then you can also download third-party transforms, and the services are wide and broad, as broad as your needs may be. You might have to download API keys for this, and again, this goes back to creating that research persona, because obviously you're not going to register your APIs to your real persona. You want to use your alias persona for those APIs. And then the machine hub just runs scripts, so I want to run a script to see, pull me all their tweets for the last 6 months. Pull me all phone numbers associated with this email address. So the machines will run that. They have, and it's as wide as your imagination is, because this is a tool that's been out there for a while, so people have had a chance to play with it. And you start with known information, and you start running your transforms, and you start running your machines. So this is what the Transform Hub, you're going to need an API for most of these, but they're information warehouses. And each one of them is going to run 20 or 30 sites. So this is for you if you have not the time to run into like individual OSINT sites, because they're going to use all the stuff you're going to use as an individual. They're just going to run 20 of them at once. You're going to want to allocate some good space of your VM or your machine's memory, storage, all of it to this, because if you don't, it's going to take a while, which I learned on my poor 1990s laptop. All right, and then here are just some examples. Again, I know it's very small, but one of the machines on the bottom retrieves and expands all RF documents involving their IP4 address. These are just machines that you can run. I actually don't even know what that means because I'm not that technical, and all my research is into people. But let's say you want every tweet within 6 months, there's a machine for that. Say you want to know associated accounts, there's a machine for that too. So, and these are just some of the examples. There are hundreds of these things out there. All right, and then Buscador OS, you can download it. It is free. It is an operating system. I guess it is also open source. So, and all the tools come configured. They periodically update the operating system, which is great. You can download it into your virtual machine of choice, including virtual machine, and play with it and go. All right. The browsers that it comes with come with plugins installed. This is not just services, it's plugins too. For example, one of the great plugins that I was recommended to use is on LinkedIn. Google has a plugin for LinkedIn. You can search by email address. So valuable. So valuable. It's just a plugin. Facebook doesn't allow you to search by email address anymore. I don't know if you guys noticed that that feature has been, especially over the last 6 months, completely shut down. So the workaround is you make a page. Make a page, and then invite them to be an admin on your page. Not a Facebook page, but you know how Facebook has pages for you to create a service or whatever? Once you start typing in the email address, Facebook will start running. And then if you want to view page source will tell you, and eventually, once you continue to type in the email address, you can watch Facebook watching you, and it will tell you, the view page source will tell you their Facebook ID, and also, as you're typing in and inviting them to become an admin on your page, it's searching for their Facebook profile. So typing in the email address will get you to the profile if you do it that way. But it's only a matter of time until that doesn't work too, or until you have to be a verified member. And furthermore, it's only a matter of time until you will have to clone your MAC address, because they'll start to pull from the hardware, like, hey, what's this? So we're working our way there, and I think we're going to see Facebook become a lot less of a valuable source of information as they continue to get pwned in the media and with the Senate. Like when you've got Zuckerberg having to make congressional testimony about leaking huge amounts of data, and then there was just another data breach for Facebook just last week, right? Yeah. That's the problem with being the apex of the industry. Everybody wants a little piece of it. Yeah. So. And then this is just some of the stuff that comes with Buscador. As you can see, it's pretty much everything. All right, and this is we're coming towards the end of our program here before our demo, how to protect yourself, because I feel like that's kind of important to include. You do not ever want to be on the I'm being investigated end of this spectrum, but sometimes you are. Especially if you like to be outspoken or a complete douchebag, which sometimes I can be, that brings a lot of attention to you, and people are going to want to know, dude, what's her problem? Or what's their problem? And then you become a target. And if you're going to be targeted, there are things you can do to mitigate what you give out, because to be honest with you, there are literally hundreds of sites that are buying your information all day, every day. So run your tools, know what's out there. Good luck opting out. I used to use opt-out as my only piece of information and my only recommendation to how you keep yourself. Good luck opting out. It's not, you can try opting out all day long. That is a motherboard article, and sorry I didn't include the actual article, but that is an article on how to opt yourself out. And when you go to that article, they will tell you how to get yourself off of data broker websites. And then they're going to give you 50 certain, get a popcorn, get some snacks, get a drink, and get comfortable, because that's going to be the next 6 hours of your life. Opting out of every single, and if one of them, if you don't do one of them, since they all information share each other, your information is just going to go right back up there. And you're going to have to opt out all over again. Because the last time I did this presentation, I went through it. And I opted out of every single, I opted out of white pages, out of Pitbull. I was like, don't say anything about me anywhere. I want to be a ghost. Okay, so when I OSINTed myself, all my same information is up there. All the same crap that I totally spent like several hours taking down. So I decided that that is no longer an approach that's really worth my time. Now, I recommend it for you, especially if a lot of your real good stuff is out there. You want to try and mitigate that. What you really want to do is you want to try and cover it up with a lot of bullshit. Whatever. I'm a grown-up. I can cuss. And this is about perpetuating disinformation. I watched listened to an entire podcast about the difference between misinformation and disinformation. Yeah, the difference is intent. When you purposely put fake up on the internet, that's called disinformation, and that's probably the best way to prepare yourself or to protect yourself at this point. Create an alias that lives at your address. Order magazines from that alias. If you can make small purchases from that alias's name, and that way your address doesn't show up as nobody lives here, because that looks weird. When you don't have social media at this point, it looks weird. When you don't have an address on the internet, that looks weird, because everybody does. So create a fake person that lives at your address and order a couple magazines, and then know that the magazines share all your information. So what they're going to do is they're going to perpetuate that disinformation for you by selling all your shit, or selling your alias's shit. And then you're going to want to make sure that your alias has a gender-neutral name. If you can just use initials, just use initials. That way, if you've got to call up, or if your wife's got to call up, or your friend's got to call up, you know, it's really hard when I make calls for George. But if it was just G Washington, hi, I'm G, you could pick just any girl's name that begins with G, and it will work. So it's that way you're giving yourself opportunities, because sometimes, and I know this is a gender-biased world, sometimes females will have success where male SEs won't, and vice versa. And it has everything to do with our cultural biases about gender. Exploit those. We know they exist. Exploit them. And try and pick a persona that's as low-key as possible, because that's its goal. You can even make online purchases with gift cards and Visa gift cards from the alias's name. You can trust that your information will totally be sold at that point, because now it's even more valuable because it comes with a credit card number. Sign up for services that will sell your info. Any wedding registry, Target registry, any wedding registry will share your info. They all share it with each other so that they can all market to you directly. Use that. You know they're going to perpetuate it. And then make sure that you put some stuff up there with your real name, a real blog with your real name. Put fake interests. Put a fake city. Make sure that whatever your name is attached to is as least like you as possible, and your alias gets all the credit for being at that address, at that location. These are all ways to just fill up the internet. Start a blog under your real name. Talk about loving cats and cat videos. That way when people Google you, they're not going to find like, oh, this person was totally publicly fired, or God forbid someone posts your revenge porn or something. It won't be the first thing that people find. They'll find other stuff. And that includes posting public videos, if you can post a PDF files, people can search specifically for PDFs. So put something up there that's worth finding. Make sure it's what you want to perpetuate, okay? All right, and if you can buy your domain name, like your name at your domain name, like do that, and then put some stuff up there that you want people to see. Put your accomplishments, the things that you want to be public up there. All right, compartmentalize your real life accounts. And this is really up to your personal levels of vulnerability and what you're comfortable with, because some people have one email address for their bank accounts, one email address for their social media accounts, or each social media account has its own email address. That is like true compartmentalization. And it isolates you from being found. It makes it harder. It adds that many more steps to the process of finding you. Make sure that you have public accounts that you use, because again, when you don't have social media, it looks weird at this point. And then make sure that you have private accounts for your friends, for your real opinions, just things that you wouldn't want your employer to see, or things that you wouldn't want on the news. Try to make separate accounts that aren't linked to your name. And then, of course, your fake research accounts and your aliases. The scenarios are just up there from the previous presentation. Some of them get real deep. You're welcome to take a picture. One of them is a scenario about pen testing. I did not make this scenario. This workflow is not mine. The OSINT professional who made this workflow is not allowed to present because of his company's rules. So what he did is he made the workflow with me. We already talked about hacking the humans, so I'm going to go through that. Hootsuite is awesome. They're a paid service most of the time. They'll tell you who's looking at you. So if your alias is getting a lot of attention, they'll tell you from what kind of people. Hootsuite's awesome. Follower Wonk, again, analyzes Twitters. These are all really great. It depends on what you're looking for. So this is that slide. If you want to take a picture, I wanted to give you an opportunity. But the pen testing one is the next one.
And you're uploading the slide deck, right?
I am totally uploading the slide deck. Yeah, but you know what? I teach, like I said, and I do a lot of presentations. And even though I put my PowerPoints on my website and the kids can totally download them whenever, they still want to take a picture of everything. So I'm like, I just have resolved myself to not give a fuck about that at this point. So if you want to take a picture, rock out.
Make sure to put up on the meetup.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get me because I'm super shy. And like I said, I'm a public school teacher, and I don't necessarily want my name associated with like, hi, I'd like to tell you how to creepy stalk people, which is essentially what this is in a lot of ways. And again, some of these services for pen testing, they are not legal in all areas. What you do with this information is that's on you, bro. So make your choices and know the laws that you are violating, because I don't run these tools. Someone, not me, wrote this slide. Yeah. Someone who isn't me, excuse me. And then once you get that information, once you get that new stuff, you run it all again. Oh, you got a new server? Okay. Now you're going to run that. What's it related to? Oh, you got a new email address? Some of the coolest things, like if you find a company's PDF, look at the metadata, see if the author's name is on there. That gives you someone at the company has privileges to post things online related to the company, like documents. That's an important name. That's exploitable. I know you guys are waiting for the demos and then threat intelligence also. This is another professional that is a regular at HackMiami, but they're not allowed to present because of their job, but her job is threat intelligence. That's what she does. And she says one of the best things that she does are the RSS readers. Just if you're looking for something specific, if you're looking for threat intel, it'll give you, a set of hashtags that you set aside beforehand, and it'll just give you everything that's on there. So TweetDeck is cool too for that. You get to customize what you see. TweetDeck will also allow you to automate your tweets, which Twitter itself doesn't let you do anymore. I got to make sure TweetDeck still lets you do that because they've been trying to eliminate that. That's another great way to hide you from things that do analytics, because that way, if you're being targeted, they don't know, okay, this time they're posting at 4 p.m., tomorrow they posted at like 3 a.m., so if the tweets are all over, it's harder to analyze what's going on. Yeah, totally. What? Do they let you automate too? Hootsuite has become like a real baller kind of tool.
It's some sites are harder to do it with.
Yeah.
Twitter, last time I used it.
It lets you do it. That's what's up, yeah. Yeah, I'm at the point where I need to do a complete SE/OSINT rehaul of all my media and all my bank accounts. Like it's like spring cleaning, and you've got to do it once every few years and just change all your passwords or get a password manager, for God's sake. Like at this point, or just write them all down and keep them in a book and make sure they're like 128 digits long or whatever. I don't know how deep you want to get with it. That's true too. That's true too. And dead accounts are a gold mine. In 1 month. Yeah, dead accounts are a gold mine. If people have forgotten about it and you can leverage that, then in so many ways, sometimes you can adopt the persona of the person that you're pursuing. I don't know, it's a creepy skill. And then of course, threat intelligence on the HackMiami Slack. So sorry about this. I know I teach history and I should do better about my citations, but I don't have to, so I didn't, and that's that. Yeah, so these are, again, this is not the products of my research are actually the products of other people's research, so I wanted to give you where I got my information. I just found out about Bellingcat. I don't know where I was and where my head was like up my own behind, but like Bellingcat has so much really good stuff, and so I put it all up here for you. And again, I left the links in there so that when you do download the PowerPoint off Slack, you can just click them. That's why I didn't convert this into a PDF, so that it's still got the clickable links, because like if I'm going to throw links at you that are 6 lines long, at least not being so I'll let you click them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's entire GitHubs dedicated to OSINT, OSINT tools, OSINT trainings. Please don't pay for training at this point. You're not going to get anything that I didn't give you here, unless you go really deep and pay for some really good trainings, like one-day trainings. How was the training at B-Sides? I heard it was decent. Did you go, or was that the different Michael? You did not.
Oh, not that Michael.
Not that different Michael.
But
Yeah.
again, there was nothing in there that we didn't already have access to.
Yeah, and it's great to brush up on it, especially because like, I mean, a $50 OSINT class, that's fucking awesome, man. That's like B-Sides being awesome, as they always are. Like, they're one of the groups that I try not to cheerleader anything other than HackMiami, but I super love B-Sides. So super love B-Sides.
Did you go to the OSINT training at B-Sides?
No, different Michael. Wait. Oh, did you go to the OSINT training?
No, it was a.
I went to an OSINT talk at B-Sides Tampa.
How was it?
It was good. It was Joe Grace and then did that.
Oh, that's what's up.
So
It's
it's
sick.
friends that
My favorite SE one was the guy who ends up in the bank vault. Do you guys remember him from last year's HackMiami? Do you remember his name? Dude, that dude was so sick. He ended up taking a selfie from inside the bank with the money in his hands, and he goes through how he SE'd his way all the way up in the vault. And I was like, I was so interested in watching that. But there was another chat just very recently. It was at 4 a.m. this morning, so I hope it's recorded somewhere, because obviously I didn't wake up to listen to that. But it was OSINT for news organizations, and how news organizations can use OSINT tools and OSINT in general to make sure that they're fully covering stories and getting all the information they can to present to the public. Can it be Cumberbatch? Because I have a thing for this other guy named Cumberbatch. Josh the dude with the awesome talk. And I'm telling you, I fangirled so hard at that talk. I was like, yeah, he's the fault. Like, I was like into it hard. So if you ever get a chance to see that, that was just one of those times where you just cheer for the bad guy so hard, because I wanted him inside that vault. And you knew from the very beginning, because he tells you, I got in the vault. This is my picture with him. And then he just walks you through how he got there. And it was beautiful. It was like every piece was orchestrated perfectly. I went to a great OSINT talk at B-Sides a couple of years ago, B-Sides Vegas, where she talked about using OSINT as a nation state, and how OSINT and perpetuating disinformation can cause interruptions in elections and all sorts of stuff that, we in the United States wouldn't know anything about. Never, no. So this is the end. I have... Do we have one more? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is it.
You need 2 more slides. You have one more.
No, the last slide is an example. And those go right to Rod, by the way, for those of you who are going with me on that journey. But this is Rederis. Rederis is one of those paid data miner services. So remember how I said good luck opting out? This is everyone, Rederis, and this is what they tell us. And it's been more because, again, this is a year ago worth of research. This slide specifically. These are all the people just Rederis sources from. So unless you pull your name out of every single one of those services, they're just going to share it again. They just they scrape each other's sites all the time. So good luck opting out. I think perpetuating disinformation is probably your best bet at this point. Cover up what you don't want people to see, and highlight the things you do want them to see, and make sure that you know the difference. Yeah. All right, cool. Are you ready to demo, Mayor?
I have a virtual machine for. Let's see, so turn this on.
Do you guys want to group sing Moana while he's done? Maybe later. And this is what I don't like live demos. Because have you thought about who we're going to target yet? Who wants to volunteer? Who's got a dead email address with something that they think is dead? No, yeah, that was, just for those of you on the interwebs, that was a resounding silence right there.
Alright, so this was.
That was their one OSINT talk. I was so salty I missed that. What? Really? Dude, LinkedIn is the worst, man. Yeah? Do you remember? You know what? I'll look it up on their, because they still had their, last time I checked these sites, Miami had their schedule up still. So maybe it's attached. Because they had one or two really good OSINT things. Yeah. Right. Right, yeah. I looked over their schedule. I don't remember. I think I was still in the hospital at that point. But, like, I heard that talk was, like, nice. Mm-hmm. Without you, I believe it. LinkedIn is the worst because LinkedIn is also one of those, if you Google the name, the first thing that comes up is the LinkedIn profile. It took me even a few minutes to figure out how to block people on my LinkedIn. I'm like, this should not be something that the service makes so difficult. Like, this is one of those things, like, you should be able to, but LinkedIn by nature is designed to put you out there. You control what information you put on your LinkedIn because you're in the hacker world, man, and because you know better, but not a lot of people are still uploading resumes with their names and addresses and phone numbers. And this is just not that day anymore where you want to be able to connect your name to your address to your phone number. So, like, if you still have resumes, like I do, you could do. I would just, in many ways, just take all that stuff off because it's not like they're going to mail you anything without interviewing you first anyway. So, in my opinion, and I recognize, true, yeah, right, and I get that. So they make it really hard, especially if you're on one of those old job recruiter sites. Like if you signed up years ago at job recruiter sites, yeah, they've already sold your resume like 10 times over. Your address is all out there. The best thing you can do is perpetuate, in my opinion, I keep saying it, is to perpetuate enough disinformation to cover you if you care about what's out there. So.
All right, so for setting up the VM, it was pretty much just follow the instructions right on
Intel Technique's website.
Intel Technique's website.
Step-by-step directions.
Basically, step-by-step, for real. You install VirtualBox on your system, import the OVA, and just follow step-by-step the instructions right there, and it'll be working practically flawlessly. All right.
Again, make sure you allocate system resources to the box that you're using. The more you allocate, the faster these things run. Because some of these searches are like, set it and forget it, and you come back in a couple hours. I guess a lot of hacking can be like that. So. Yeah, get comfortable with your hoodie and your sunglasses. So
I think Maltego is installed right on there. So just running.
It really is a one-stop shop at this point. Bezel has kind of pinioned himself into the OSINT/SE experts. And who's the guy with the lockpicks as a card? Kevin Mitnick is the other SE that's just like, So if you're looking for places to start your research, start there. And then down the rabbit hole you'll go because it's so... When I did the SECTF, I found these people's kids. I found where they were enrolled in school. I found their gamer profiles. Not the kids' gamer profiles, but the professionals. I found out where they were eating lunch together. I found out this was all open source. I wasn't allowed to go to the site. I really thought about driving to the site, but it was against the rules because it was just Atlanta. I just wanted to hang out in the restaurants less than a mile away from where the SOC was. And after a week, you'll get lucky because at some point, they're going to come in. Who wants to eat Taco Bell every day? Nobody, right? So just sit and wait.
So
a lot of SE OSINT is patience.
So they have a lot of social tools, so you could just pull up some Twitter scripts right here, right? If you click on the Twitter icon, they have other tools as well, so that you could just select the particular tool you want to use. It'll ask you for a Twitter account. Let's see.
Twitter requires API. But you set this up already, right? Because
No,
you
I
need
don't
to be
think
logged
it-
into a Twitter account to search it.
Do you have to? I haven't set it up. This is just first time running it since I got it. So just going through the tools menu, you have like video download tools, video utilities, a bunch of different browsers that are already pre-configured for you. Firefox, Docker Cycle.
If you find something super juicy, download it because it won't be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
People like if they drunk post at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're gonna want to download that because that's not going to be there at 8 a.m. the next day when their coworkers see it.
It has Recon NG built in right there. You have to set up all your API keys for Recon NG and stuff.
And remember those go under your alias names. API keys are the service saying, okay, we recognize that you'll be doing some research on this account, and we are acknowledging that we won't flag your account unless you do something really naughty. Which, again, your research accounts don't get attached to them. If they last more than a few months, that's like gorgeous. Because as soon as it's found out to be a research account, they ground them. And once one is grounded, you might as well throw the persona away.
There's a lot of little metadata tool in here as well. So
Well, let's pick a picture off the internet. Let's do, you want to target, I wonder if Rod is listening. Rod, are you listening? Can we target HackMiami? Is that an Alex question? Alex, are you listening? Can we target HackMiami? Would we really want to know what we'd find?
in general, there's a 30-second delay on the video stream, so he won't listen to it for.
Okay, well, someone's
The
butt
other
just got
thing
built
that Basil recommends is set up your machine, get it good, clone it, and use a completely fresh distro for
every time.
engagement.
Yeah, you're going to want to spin up your VM every time. And that just compartmentalizes and keeps your research aliases safe too.
Then you don't have to set it up.
Right,
Clone it.
right. You
At
just
the right moment.
done. It's like a game. It's a game save. You save your game at exactly the point where you're about to make a real stupid decision. You're like, let's see how this goes. And if it doesn't go so great, reload, man. Aren't you bold, sir? No, Blue Fox. Aren't you bold, sir?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Because I was
All right.
going to target Honey's my Honey email, but I don't want to give you something I know nothing's attached to, because they'll just be like, oh, this person is attached to the meetup page for HackMiami, and you'll be like, okay, well, we've confirmed a known. Great.
All right, so let's see.
I agree. There you go. Well, false positives are a thing, which is why you got to always recheck. Again, like you got to make sure you're attacking who you think you're attacking. Bye. Super cute.
So, all right, so let's see.
What was his email address
What
again?
was your email address?
No, you said his email address, bro.
Here he posted to bluefox1025@gmail or cooldude115@yahoo.
Let's see if his birthday really is 10/25. Yahoo would be easier. If you have too bad the email servers haven't been breached, man. But you'd want to look for him in a breach. Look for that's one of the like eye-opening things for me, because there's nothing the user can do about that. It's not them who breached their information. It was their service. There's nothing they can do to protect that. And if they're not in the know, they might be still using that same password.
All right, so where are we going? With the,
Where do you want to go with so that's the email address. So let's try transform. Wait, where are we?
So where are we?
So
I don't think I could do any transforms here. I didn't set up login to Maltego.
let's
so.
throw it through Intel Techniques. You don't need anything for that.
Where you go? It's not letting me
Go to
run the view.
Buscador. Oh, you want to do the Maltego.
No, but this is the Buscador. Oh,
Okay.
so go ahead.
No, you stay. I like it when other people type for me. Alright. Here's the transforms up at the top. Clearly I'm too simple to use your...
I think the transform hub, but I didn't.
Let's try machine then.
Let's go.
Oh.
Transform hub. I have to log in. 1 second. Let me close this.
I won't look, I promise. Oh, the joy of live demos.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for waiting. We're having technical issues. We'll be right back with you. This has been a message from HackMiami.
There we go. We'll just use the Maltego from Cali. So.
That's what's up.
You know what your old music?
What do we want to do? What do you guys want? I told you I'm super into Moana. No? Ugh. It's kind of my goal to get the entirety of DEF CON singing a Disney song one day. I'm telling you, I'm going to find the opportunity, and when I do, we're all going to be singing Let It Go, 20,000 hackers strong. It's going to be amazing.
One thing I've been doing as like an active defensive measure is I have certain accounts that use breach emails and passwords that I've been breached together.
Gorgeous.
Two-of-a solutions that go to things that I'm watching.
Right?
So I can see, okay, there was a failed log attempt that could have been anything. There was a failed log attempt with the correct combination.
Look at you setting little honey pots. Look at you.
You have an IP address of
Someone who's looking at you.
one place you say, okay,
Or,
it could be someone just checking this whole time. But if different compromised accounts,
that's
I'm
awesome.
trying to hide.
That's super awesome, yeah.
don't know which accounts are.
Alright, so. Alright, so
Right.
which transform would you like to run on this email? So let's see.
Let's look from data leaked from sources. Email data. People, mom.
No, this is okay, so that's this one doesn't have any much transforms.
Yeah, but you got to put the email address in there.
Let's see.
What was it? 1027. Blue Fox.
1025.
1025.
Alright, so where we go here? There's no transforms for it. I'm not seeing any transforms on this one.
Or we'll do more than 45 at Amazon.
I know this one works because I have this one.
It uses all that as a keyword.
Oh my god. He's just like, take it all. Oh.
Just run through all other transforms and let's see what it all.
Hey, look. We're finding stuff. Well, we're not. Maltego is finding stuff. Yeah, that's probably a no. Because Perturba, that will give you access to like Intel Techniques or some basic sites that you don't need.
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah.
I set it up beforehand, so
So what do we get in here?
that's what I set up the demo beforehand before the other screen was from Buscador. I didn't set up my the Maltego account on there or Perturba, whatever they're.
Yeah, Maltego is Perturba.
Yeah, Perturba.
What did we
account.
get? Because we definitely populated some stuff.
Yeah, let's see. So we see some Ashley Madison.
Oh, okay, so
couple
these are the breaches.
records. Yeah, so there's a lot of breaches in there.
So we would just have to search each
So
one.
we could see.
Or it should search for us.
I know if we close. Let me delete that, and then we can see. Go to. Actually, if you click on one of these, I think it shows some details. Alright, and there are the properties. Shows the Gmail. The one thing that
What happens when you click on this?
I don't have the account set up for. I don't have the PeopleMon set up.
All right, can we go to a browser? Oh, do you still want to do the Maltego demo? Because
Sure,
I
if
think
you
we're
want to
going
go to a browser, we could do that. So.
Go to inteltechniques.com. Let's put his email in there.
Okay, so go ahead to. I'm gonna move this one to Move this one to 8. There we go. Go ahead.
Intel
If you could.
Techniques.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just being lazy. All right, so this is the inteltechniques.com website. I'm not really super loves live demos with Maltego, which is why I always have someone else do the live demos. But this one, it's so easy, even I'm willing to do it. So you just go to Tools, or I'm going to try to go to Tools. Yay, Tools. All right, and then here you have on the side, this is the target data. This is a touchscreen? It is
No.
not.
Not that old. It's very old.
We love touchscreen. I'm so used to the trackpad tap to select that when I have mouse buttons, I'm like, what is going on here? Oh, are they taking you right to, hey, download Buscador here. All right, so you can use the populate all button, and then it will populate all. It's one of those things. So, Fox 1025 at gmail.com, populate all. All right, so have I been pwned preaches?
Scroll down and it's in there. It's gonna open a lot of tabs.
Hashtag not my laptop. What? Are you going through VPN or something?
No. It's no, because you just went there.
What do you mean I went there? Oh, that's right, duh. Oh, did you block all my pop-ups? Blocked all my pop-ups. Oh, Firefox prevented 21 pop-ups. Okay. Mabizi. Come on, allow all. It'll be
No,
okay.
no, allow all.
Oh. It'll be okay. You can do it.
I don't use that.
Which one? Where's our? Oh, Hunter.io. Oh,
God
it says
damn it.
verifier in big old letters.
That's just
We're currently experiencing technical difficulties again.
Click on edit pop settings.
Or the preferences.
There we go.
Where was it? Here?
It's on the yellow bar too.
It was there?
Yeah.
So we're going down here. Where was the pop-up blocker settings on this thing? It was, I don't go into this settings ever.
Can you go to the OSINT search tool thingy again? Done. Good job. And now we wait.
There you go.
Okay, some of them are popping. Oh, Gravatar. Okay, so I really don't I get Gravatar. I know what Gravatar is, but like, god damn it, I don't understand the purpose of Gravatar. Because you can make an avatar that's a global avatar. Gravatar, I think that's kind of like their idea. So that whenever you use your email, your Gravatar pops up on sites that have a Gravatar friendship. I don't know, man. I don't understand Gravatar. I'm like, why would you want that? But they're a legit service with like millions of subscribers. I'm like, but why would you want that? But they're a legit service with millions of subscribers, so clearly people want it.
So
I hope he didn't give us a bullshit email and is now like sitting there drinking a Pepsi laughing. I was like, good luck, chick.
oh,
Yeah.
I really hate this shit. Alright,
yeah.
forget that
Oh
one.
no, but the people is so good.
hate
That's
that
the good.
one.
Sometimes you gotta do the bullshit, man. Yeah.
I ran on you.
People is the bomb.com, man, but you're gonna have to click on some traffic lights.
Alright, so here we
So-
got just
All right. Oh, the other thing
Yeah.
is when you're searching for email addresses, first you go through the email address and then you go ahead and you drop that domain name. And then you search it again as a username. So it
Yeah.
would just be bluefox1025 instead of bluefox1025 at Gmail. Because people love to, we're creatures of habit.
Information found. All right.
The same password there,
Oh yeah. And again, if that password's been breached, if you can get the plain text password, great. Search for the password now, because maybe they have other email accounts where they use the same password. If it's in a hash, search the hash. Then convert the hash to SHA or any other encryption, and then search.
This is the verifier, yes?
Yes.
This shows you whether or not it's a decent.
Loves this. Okay, so this is actually a good thing. Believe it or not, this is Intel.
Yep.
So, is it a valid format? Yes, the email is valid format. We already knew that because we know at gmail.com. Is this a deliverable mailbox? Is it full? No. The catch-all, I'm not sure with that one. The host exists. It is a legit. And this is for like email addresses that are not Gmail addresses, obviously, because Gmail, you know the host exists. But if it's at like, I like toes123, maybe that's not a legitimate web service email name. So this will tell you, is this a legitimate email address? So now that you've proven that this is actually an email address that someone probably used because it is deliverable, it isn't full, this is something that you can now continue to research, and you put it into the next, service and go.
Yep.
So what do we got next?
No, that was it. The rest of them are pretty bare.
Pretty bare? And domains owned by them? No.
Security details, no domain.
You want to search again using just BlueFox25 and see if it's a username anywhere? That won't go in the email tool, that'll go in the username.
We could just think it was right
Google
around here.
Dorking is also pretty awesome. Believe it or not, you can also get a Gmail or Google API so that you have, it's not a permission from Google to use their services to search, but it's a higher level of permission to use their services to search.
So we could do
Username or well, we could do real name, but let's not put that on the interwebs. So username tool. And a lot of this becomes like me not being able to scroll. How creative can you get with it?
He doesn't use this email. He uses different ones.
Good. I hope he doesn't give a bunch of hackers the email he uses for his
Yeah, for
banking
real,
account.
yeah.
Like, we love you, bro, and we didn't expect this to be a real significant, like,
Real thing.
dude,
Which
your
one you
mouse
want?
pad is making me like.
Oh, you have
gotta.
this
I think
one,
you have to
yeah.
click on them one by one. Let's try the purple. Where's
all?
submit all? Oh, pfft. That was just me being me, man. That was just like a blonde moment. Like it said clearly. It's clearly said submit all everywhere. Okay.
No gravatar.
No gravatar. That's just a womp womp.
Womp womp. No.
Hey,
womp.
wait.
Oh.
Hello. That's an Instagram account. That's Intel. See, bro, this is why you don't give people. So you are now. What's up? Now we can be friends on Instagram. I don't know what my Instagram passwords are. I shouldn't admit that I'm really bad on social media because, like, as someone who researches, you should be like, nah, man, I'm at the top of my game. I don't have a Snapchat. I don't have an Instagram. I think I do, but, like, I don't use them. And that in itself is Intel because dead accounts can be leveraged. If you assume that account, I'm less likely to notice it's been assumed. And then maybe you can talk to my friends. See what other services I've got linked up to that service. So, and then therein it starts to get dubious. Is he texting on Slack like, "Hey, all right, I don't want to play anymore"? Come on, guys, stop.
All right. So
What's that? Found on Bike Journal.
yeah, these are just people that have the same
Okay,
similar
so
username.
these are anybody. Yeah, but these are. So this might not be him. This is anybody with the username that he gave us that's attached to you. Now, is it most likely our target because they have the same user? Probably. But again, you still want to know who your target is and know who you're attacking because Blue Fox, the grandma who's super sexy, she's not the one we're targeting right now. We're targeting our friend in Slack. So we don't want to target Sexy Abuela because she didn't do anything to you, man. She's just trying to feed you and have you call her more often. Don't be mean to grandma. All right. So these are just some of the examples of tools. I don't know if we want to hunt hunt our friend all day. I'm down to shove his username into a couple more things if you guys want to, but I think you kind of get the point. Wherever you get a little bit of information here or there, we were able to confirm that his email address he gave us is in fact a usable email, and then we were able to use that username.
He's saying it's not his Instagram.
Of course, that's what that's what I'd say too.
But it has it.
It probably is some sexy grandma out there.
So,
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know who that was. Okay, so how is it? Beer o'clock? Oh, it's so beer.
Yeah.
It's totally beer o'clock.
Yeah.
There's a beer o'clock. So again, if you have any questions or if you'd just like to sit down and find some playtime to do this, I'm always down to sit with you with your machine and your targets and talk about what you want to do about that. I'm always down to sit and learn. By no means am I an expert, and always excited to learn new things and hunt new people. Oh yeah, and Buscador, by the way, it just means searcher in Spanish. It is not like Buscador. It sounds so like ominous and sexy, but it just means like looker in Spanish, which like us in South Florida, which actually kind of opened my mind a little bit because I thought to myself, damn, these are the English tools. What's out there for the other languages? Well, I want to know what tools the Russians are using for OSINT. I want to use Chinese OSINT tools. And I thought about it. Our tools are aimed at our web. And I know it's all the same web, but it really isn't.
but actually, Basil talks about different country search engines in his book.
100%, he
So
does.
There's different sections,
Yeah.
and different search engines.
But there's going to be a whole
for the different
book
countries.
for just the different countries, like, you know, because our tools are aimed at our web with like .coms or and other webs are not configured. I mean, I know it's all the same web, but then I thought to myself, damn, what about targeting people from other countries, other languages? There's an entire tool set that goes with that too. And then I just got super excited about seeing our Hack Madrid brothers and sisters when they come from Spain to give their talks at HackMiami. So that's going to be really cool.
Yeah. So remember, so thank you.
Yay!
Thank you, honey.
Thanks. I hope you got something useful. I hope you got a little creeped out because it's a creepy skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so Rod hears it and everyone else knows, HackMiami conference coming up May 17th, 18th. Talks are there's training classes that are done on the Friday on the 17th. Con is done on the 18th. There's going to be two main rooms and our penthouse room, which is going to have the capture the flag, capture the packet, lockpick village, and fire talks as well. And plenty of talks on there. Prices going at $159.99.
Yeah.
Register, please, and let's have a good con. All right.
Yeah. And if you guys are interested in, there's no hotel block because it's not an overnight thing. But I think I might stay at the hotel anyway, just because like it was pretty cool last time, and then we have a central place to party and hang out after the con. If there's other people who are interested in maybe trying to get rooms, maybe we can all get rooms on the same floor or something like that, so we can have like a centralized area. I don't know what you're into, but I'm open for that discussion. And I'm always open for the discussion of driving to DEF CON and renting like a hacker van and going out there big time. I know that would be like an epic drive, but maybe for one day.
Also remember, this is our last Hack Miami conference
On the
at
beach.
Miami Beach. On the beach. So yeah, so yay
I know,
and
yay and nay,
but-
yay and nay. But the beach has gone like nuts, and it's starting to get hard for us to like party out there. And last year with the penthouse, like we weren't even allowed to use the bathroom at like some point, and I was like, okay, well, fuck this, man. If we can't even bring in our own alcohol, like, come on, man. Like, this is a hacker con. Okay, my bad.
Just
My
messing
bad. My bad. I respect and love the hotel, and I'm sorry right now. Thank you for housing us. We love the Deauville.
All right.
Is it the Deauville again? Where are we again? Oh, the Seacoast. The Deauville burned down. Hashtag not HackMiami. But now we're at Seacoast Suites, which I think was beautiful last year, and I had fun. Last year. Those rooms were, dude. And the suites, like if you split them with another person, you get your